Welcome in, everybody, to the Farzy Show, presented by my good friend Steven Singer over there at Steven Singer Jewelers. My name is Mark Farzetta, and I am excited. I am happy. I am overjoyed with the fact that the Philadelphia Phillies are up 1-0 on the National League Championship in their National League Championship Series with the San Diego Padres. And I still can't believe that ball Kyle Schwarber hit. Zack Wheeler pitched an incredible baseball game. And I think even after that game, he only wanted to talk about Kyle Schwarber's home. Everyone wanted to talk about Kyle Schwarber's home. I mean, anytime you see Bryce Harper with this expression, for the people in the podcast, I'm showing the picture. You've probably seen already on social media of Kyle Schwarber's home run where Bryce Harper reacted with the face. That's excitement, folks. That was sheer joy and sheer excitement. However, Bryce Harper after the game had a little different reaction. We'll get to that later. But it was such a mammoth blast that gave the Phillies a 2-0 lead. Harper stepped up to the plate. He gave the Phillies a 1-0 lead. Oppo Boppo, like one row back, maybe two, if you're being generous, 3 rows back, maybe. That went right through the hands of a San Diego Padres fan. Bad day for San Diego Padres fans. One, that ball went through that guy's hands. The other, before, did you see the rap? I can't even play it because it's so terrible. When I saw that rap by whoever the heck that was, I thought, Phillies by 1,000, but I'll take 2. I'll take 2 runs where they score none of them, and the Phillies get the Game 1 victory against the Padres. And then, of course, Kyle Schwarber stepped up to the plate later in the ball game. And off Yu Darvish, deposited a baseball 488 feet into the upper deck at Petco Park. For comparison, and this is what I always think of when I think of long home runs at Citizens Bank Park. Unfortunately, I think of Barry Bonds. You've heard of him. But I also think of Ryan Howard in terms of like baseballs that are hit dead center field and disappear behind the ivy or the brick and go on to Ashburn Alley. Those are incredible home runs. But for me, I don't know what it is, but I often think of this home run hit by Ryan Howard off Mike Mussina from the New York Yankees at the time in 2006. And it was a game that Ryan Howard went on to have 7 RBIs, but the Phillies ended up losing to the Yankees. But anyway, Ryan Howard steps to the plate. There was 2 runners on at the time, and Ryan Howard grooves one into the upper deck down the right field line of Citizens Bank Park. It went into maybe the first row, second row of the upper deck. Like if you know where the McDonald's sign is, I don't even know if it's still there, but it was where it was at the time. And it was just to the right of that. I think Auto Trader was the sign at the time. And Ryan Howard put it up there. That ball traveled only 461 feet to the first row of Citizens Bank Park's upper deck in right field. Yesterday's baseball traveled 488 feet. So that would probably be around where the tunnel is up there. Imagine walking around, what is the 370 level? I don't know. And you're walking around with your nachos, your hot dog, your beer, your soda, your water. I don't know. You're walking around, and all of a sudden a baseball comes through that tunnel. That's what would have happened if it was Kyle Schwarber's home run at Citizens Bank Park instead of Petco Park yesterday. It was a mammoth blast. And my buddy and I were making fun of each other last night. We had 2 TVs on. He came over to watch the games. And I had the Flyers on like the laptop. I had the Phillies on the main TV. And I had the Sixers on the other TV, the big TV. It's still like a 55-inch TV. It's a nice TV. And 50-inch TV, whatever. Nice TV. And we're watching, bouncing around, ADD, like we're a cat watching ping pong. I don't know. And we're making fun of each other for how we're just not judging home runs well at Petco Park. And when Schwarber hit that one and just kind of froze for a second, we were both like gone. like holy, like from the sound it made just on the TV, you probably had the same thing. What? It was like a bomb went off. A Schwarber bomb went off. And then to see the players' reaction on the in the dugout, see the players' reaction after the game. And then they hear Kyle Schwarber just go, yeah, whatever. To me, it's the coolest thing ever. In all of sports, it's the coolest thing. In baseball, when you smack a blast like Kyle Schwarber hit yesterday, and at any level, when you've grooved a baseball, it doesn't have to be the big leagues, doesn't have to be the playoffs. It could be little league. You could be in the batting cage. It's one of the sweetest things in the world. When you groove through that baseball and you don't feel it, it just feels like you're swinging through air. And then you look up and that ball's just traveling. Now, I personally can't identify because I was a terrible hitter. But I've grooved a pitch or two in my day. And it's just wild how you just don't feel that. Kyle Schwarber stepped into that batter's box yesterday and made a baseball explode off his bat. And after the game, he was asked what it felt like to hit a 488-foot home run. Second farthest hit ball this season. The only ball that was hit further was at Coors Field. It's escaping me who did it. But Schwarber goes out there yesterday, hits that home run, sits in the press box sits in the press conference afterwards. Hey, how'd it feel? It doesn't feel like anything. And when he said that, I knew exactly what he was talking about. Not from my own personal experience, but that's what you hear all the good players, all the great home run hitters, all the great hitters. You hear them talking about that, how when you hit it, you don't even feel it. Instead of getting that, reverberation or whatever, that recoil, like a cartoon, where they're going to chop a tree and it's actually a steel pole, right? You just go right through it like it doesn't even exist. And that's what Kyle Schwarber said after the game. He didn't even feel it. It was, when he said that, I got chills, baby. I got chills. It was so cool. And afterwards, he's like, yeah, I don't even care. Because they're up 1 game to none. That's all he cares about. It was absolutely insane yesterday. I really couldn't believe the fact that you had your pitcher's duel going on. And I'm thinking to myself, at some point, this is going to come back to bite the Phillies. Early in the ball game, I remember Schwarber got on third base. Harper stepped to the plate with 2 outs, and he ended up hitting into the shift down the right field or through the second baseman deep. Should have scored the run. It didn't because of the shift, obviously. The game's going on. The first couple of innings I'm watching last night, I couldn't believe, like, so many called third strikes. There was about 5 called third strikes in the 4th inning. By the 4th inning, there was 5 of them. I think there were 3 alone in the 3rd inning. Yeah, Segura, who was it? Marsh and Hoskins all went down looking. Not good. I did think Fox Sports 1 Strike Zone, the box on TV, was a little off because Zack Wheeler threw a hell of a breaking pitch to, I forget who it was, and I'm thinking to myself, that seems odd. That ball was definitely, it was Soto. It was the inside corner of the plate, and it was about top of the knee high, and it was outside the box that Fox had on TV. I'm like, can we do a little work on that, fellas? But you see Wheeler cruising through. You see Darvish cruising through. Then you see in the 4th inning, after JT Realmuto went down looking, Bryce Harper hit the home run to make it 1-0. Bohm later went down in the inning looking. And then as the game went on, you see Schwarber come in the 6th inning and hit that home run to make it 2-0, and what would be the final score. I am going to talk about it because there's different points where I thought things were going to come back to bite the Phillies. And there's really no better example of that than in the 9th inning. I mean, first up, Sir Anthony Dominguez, incredible job. He comes in, he handles his business. And then Jose Alvarado comes in for the 9th inning. I was ecstatic that it wasn't Zach Eflin. As I have voiced many times, I want to see Sir Anthony Dominguez and I want to see Zach Eflin. Or excuse me, I want to see Dominguez and I want to see Alvarado in the late innings. If Eflin can give you a good 6th or 7th inning, great. If you got a high pitch count with anyone like Nola today at 4:35, you got a high pitch count in the 5th inning, and you already got him a lead or whatever. Zach Eflin can pitch the 6th and 7th. All right, if you need somebody to go out there and do that, you can do that. But him all of a sudden becoming the closer doesn't make any sense to me. So when I saw Dominguez and I saw Alvarado last night, I said, "Thank you very much, Rob Thompson." Alvarado gets 1 out, allows a base runner by walking Profar. Then you get the ground ball off Soto's bat, I think it was, to Alec Bohm at third base. The shift is on, so the players are out of position. Bohm fields the ball. You're thinking with 1 out, Soto running, you're going to get a double play on this ball. Bohm fires to second, and if it was football, it was a terrible pass. It would have been a great catch by the receiver, in this case, Bryson Stott, who's at second base, but it wasn't a good throw. They don't get the double play. In fact, you have 2 on with 1 out. No bueno. No bueno. You're able to get out of that jam, thank God. It doesn't end up coming back to bite you. Jose Alvarado does what he needs to do to get out of the inning. And gets a fly out to Castellanos to shallow right field, and then gets a strikeout to end the inning. End the game, excuse me. I was terrified. There have been plenty of situations so far in the playoffs. Fortunately, you know what? Not too many, but enough to make you go, bases loaded, not scoring. It's going to come back and bite you. Error here, error there. That's going to come back and bite you. This was not an example of something coming back to bite you. The Phillies got out of it. And that's what you do when you're a better team of destiny than the other team is a team of destiny, like the San Diego Padres. You're not as destined as the Phillies, apparently. So after the game, Rob Thompson described what happened on that play, and he said that the umpire more or less distracted somehow Alec Bohm when he was moving into position to make the call at second base. I watched the replay. It doesn't make any sense. If you, that's a real huge lack of awareness. I'd rather just say you threw the ball bad. Like I'd rather just come out and say, yeah, the ball got away from me. I'd rather that than some lame excuse of the umpire terrified me. I thought the umpire was Stott. I thought Segura was Stott. I thought Stott was Segura. I thought umpire was Stott. No, that doesn't make any sense. The excuse is worse than the crime. But no harm, no foul. It made us all sit on the edge of our seats for an extra second or two. A little tight. And they got out of it. So when Rob Thompson gave that explanation, I went with another Anchorman quote, and it was just, I don't believe you. But anyway, the bottom line is they won. They're back at it today. 4:35, Aaron Nola gets the start against Blake Snell. Now, if you remember the last time, and there's only one other time Aaron Nola faced the San Diego Padres, a young fellow by the name of he's 32, his older brother. You had what's his name, Austin Nola, out there with the game-winning RBI single to beat the Phillies 1-0 in a game that Aaron Nola won 7 innings, allowed just 1 run, and the 1 run was to, of course, his brother. So good times. Unlike Nick Maton's brother, Austin Nola did not go into the dugout or into the clubhouse and punch a locker and break his hand. So that's good that Aaron Nola didn't do that with his brother Austin, getting the game-winning hit off himself. Blake Snell gets to start for the Phillies. Blake Snell, of course, one heck of a off-season run that he's had in his career. Excuse me, postseason run he's had in his career with his years with the those Tampa Bay Rays. 0-2 against the Phillies this year is the lefty Blake Snell. 0-2 against the Phillies in 2 starts with a 6.75 ERA. So, hey, I'm not going to get cocky, but I'm feeling pretty good. And one of the things I did really enjoy about this game was, man, playoff baseball is supposed to have – one of the things I love about playoff baseball and really missed here in Philadelphia is there seems to be a constant buzz in the stadium. Like, even if you're watching at home, there's just this constant buzz. Like, remember years ago, was it the World Cup where the vuvuzelas became all the rage? You know, those long horns that sound like bees buzzing in the stands? It's like that, but there's no horns, man. It's just people. And there's a constant buzz. There's a constant energy that somehow comes through the TV, and it feels like every single pitch is the most important thing. Like in a baseball game, you're going to watch, I don't know, on average, 290 pitches, 280 pitches. I don't know, whatever you're going to watch, assuming both sides go to 100, 250. I don't know what the number would be. But it's like for those pitches in playoff baseball, let's call it 250, you're going to be sitting on the edge of your seat Every single pitch is ball outside. Fouled away. 0-1. It's just like every pitcher on the edge of your seat. And it's because of that buzz that you feel, that energy that everything is heightened. I always say hockey and baseball are the two sports that probably elevate the most when it comes to postseason play. In terms of regular season play, it's like, there's 162, there's 82 of these. You get a bounce in hockey, go the right way, whatever. But in the playoffs, it's like, edge of your seat the entire time. It's a wild thing. It's an incredible thing. And there was none of that, at least not from the Padres fans in San Diego last night. So it got me thinking, man, imagine going up big early in game 2 on Blake Snell, taking the crowd out of it, which isn't that difficult, apparently, taking the crowd out of it. And then those guys have to, the San Diego Padres have to get on a plane from their rather tame environment, fly across the country, and play the Philadelphia Phillies in front of the Philadelphia Philly fan base. Good luck, y'all. Because everyone, and we've talked about this a lot, we talked about it yesterday with Brett Myers, everyone's talking about how you don't just come to play the Philadelphia sports team that you're flying in to play or busing in to play. You are taking on an entire city. And that's exactly what's going to take place in this series, especially, oh my goodness, it doesn't even matter if they come back 1-1. That's exactly what happened with the Braves, and the Phillies fans took care of business. Now imagine with the stakes being even higher with a World Series trip hanging in the balance. How raucous that stadium's going to be. Excuse me as I take a sip of my Red October cup. Got this at the game on Friday. Yeah, you like that? It's for hot beverages, I just got water in it. Yeah, I actually they offered a spike cider there at the game, and I happen to be a big fan of whiskey, bourbon, and they offered to spike it with, I think it was Jim Beam. So I'm like, I'm not really a cider guy, but I am a whiskey bourbon guy. So by all means, please pour with a heavy hand. And it was delicious. I will say. So yeah, Phillies tomorrow, today. 4:35 for game 2 of this series in San Diego. And it is Aaron Nola versus Blake Snell. I am beside myself with joy. This is why I wanted them to make the playoffs. I'm sorry, I have to say it one more time. For the people that said don't make the playoffs because they're just going to get embarrassed anyway, shame! Shame! Shame on you! Feels nice. Before I go, I'm going to do a locker room report now because I want to get all my Phillies conversation in this right here before I move on to the Flyers, who are 3-0. And before I move on to the Sixers. Come on, man. Not cool. So we got that going on. So I'm going to put this together for you. So again, this is our friend Bryce Harper's face when the home run was hit. When the explosion happened, this is Bryce Harper's face. This is Bryce Harper then after the game when he was asked about Kyle Schwarber's home run. The words don't fit the face. Let's put it that way.
Bryce, your reaction to how far Schwarber hit the ball.
Yeah. It was far.
Yeah, it's pretty far. Okay. All right. We're going to go under. We're going to, just put everything kind of, tamper down a little bit. We're going to just kind of, we're going to kind of relax. We're not going to freak out. We're not going to lose our minds. Yeah, it was pretty far. Yeah, it was an explosion is what happened. Zack Wheeler had a great story. I didn't even know Zack Wheeler did this, but apparently when he pitches, he goes in the tunnel. He doesn't stay on the bench in the dugout. He leaves to stay within his own. I'll let him tell the story. But here is Zack Wheeler on what his reaction was to the Kyle Schwarber home run and where he was when the home run was hit.
I'm always down the stairs, kind of out of the noise and all that, just so I can, keep my head. But, heard everybody sort of, take off. So I ran up the stairs and I saw it land, and that was pretty crazy. I've never even seen that done in batting practice or anything. I
didn't know that he just kind of leaves, and then he was like, what? What was that clatter? Pitter patter his feet up the steps. Oh my God. Up there? 2-0? Cool. Like that. For whatever keeps him in his own headspace, man. Whatever keeps him in his own headspace, and as long as he's dealing like he was dealing yesterday, forget about it. By the way, in total, looking at Zack Wheeler's numbers from yesterday, he was incredible. I know that his strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, 7 innings, 1 hit is insane. 1 walk. Dominguez came in, got 2 strikeouts in the 1 inning. Alvarado got the 1 strikeout that innings and handled his business, obviously. Phillies struck out 7 times against Yu Darvish. 5 of them were looking. And by the way, I know some people, 83 pitches, Zack Wheeler, I would have left him in. I absolutely would have left him in. You do risk spoiling an outing like what happened in the 6th inning of game 2 against the Braves, something happening that's, not exactly the best case scenario for him. You do have a good bullpen now, though. I think we're so used to it, and they've had a great bullpen for really the last 3-4 months of the season. That's something we're not used to in Philadelphia, to give the ball to the bullpen and trust them. And this was a scenario where I think Rob Thompson said that he had done his job and it was time to take him out. And when you're giving the ball to that bullpen in this scenario, I don't really have a big problem with it. Could you have avoided Sir Anthony Dominguez throwing 9 pitches in that 8th inning? Sure. The decision ended up working. I would have left him in. Yes, I'm more of the, I don't even call it old school. I call it good school, as Charlie Manuel would say. When it comes to something like that, it obviously worked out, but I would have kept him in. I absolutely would have. And I still think he would have cruised because he was incredible last night. The ball was on a string. Ball was absolutely on a string. And his efficiency has been off the charts. You're looking up like I did in the 5th inning of game 2 against the Braves, and he is 50 pitches at the 5th inning. That's insane. Those are like video game cheat code numbers. And then last night, 83 pitches through 7 innings of work. Yeah, I would have given him at least like to 95, 100 pitches. That's just playoff. Like, you save guys during the season for the playoffs. Unleash the hounds. There is the caveat of the injury with Zack Wheeler. So again, I would have left him in, but it's not one that I would die on a hill on. Sir Anthony Dominguez gives us a couple home runs. Alvarado, the same thing. Well, yeah, then I'd be singing a different tune today, no question. But yeah, 83 pitches through 7 innings of work. He had the 8 strikeouts in the game, and only surrendered 1 hit and issued 1 walk. Great to see. Phillies back at it today, 4:35, Nola versus Snell. All right, let me just take this off. For those on the podcast, I've been wearing the Phillies Philly Fanatic hat the entire time. The one that makes it look like I have hair. Makes it look like I have hair. Yeah, my green hair. So that's the Phillies conversation. Flyers won last night 3-2 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. They were the ones to start off the night. 7 o'clock start time, then the Sixers at 7:30, and then the Phillies at 8:03. Tampa Bay Lightning fell to the hands of the Flyers 3-2. Carter Hart, 36 saves in the victory. JVR is 4th goal of the season already. Oh, things are happening in Philly. Good things happen in Philly, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I got the Flyers. Gotta be honest. Was paying closer attention to the Phillies and closer attention to the Sixers. And I was home alone with the kids last night, so I had to make sure they got to bed. It was a war zone, folks. It was a war zone in Casa de Farzetta last night. So I looked in at the Flyers a couple of times, and that was that. But the Sixers. It's a little early for Marcus Smart and Joel Embiid to be duking it out, isn't it? It's a little early for that. In case you missed it, Sixers lost last night at the hands of the Boston Celtics, 126-117. So much for my idea of James Harden cooling off and being more of a facilitator to Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, because that wasn't the case last night. Embiid finished with 26. Harden finished with 35. Embiid finished with 15 rebounds as well. But he also had 6 turnovers. Wah, wah. Maxey, 21 points. Harris, 18 points. And the bench really didn't do a lot for you in this game. Sixers kind of got blown away a little bit in that third quarter. That's where I'd say they lost the game. They got beat by 10 points in that third quarter. And coming out early in the early goings of that third quarter, it was 63-63. And Embiid and Marcus Smart got tangled up. Embiid brought down a rebound. Marcus Smart stuck his hand in to try to get the rebound. I have zero doubt in my mind. Now, some could argue that Marcus Smart tripped up Embiid somehow, forcing Embiid to fall backwards a little bit. That's not what it looked like to me. To me, it looked like Embiid thought he could get away with something. And he kind of threw his back towards Marcus Smart to knock him down. He was already kind of going down anyway. But look, these two have had a history. Marcus Smart has actually recently been the more mature one up until yesterday. Good Lord. When it comes to this little beef he has with Joel Embiid. I've seen other situations where Embiid has tried to goat Marcus Smart, and Marcus Smart has been like, no, man, come on, not today. Not today. Let's be bros. And I thought, hey, good for Marcus. That's actually a smart thing for Marcus Smart. Last night, not so much. But bottom line is we can't have – look, I know he's controlling the basketball. He's touching the basketball more than anybody. But when it comes to what Joel Embiid is doing on the court, I just please go out there and win. I know part of his game is getting in the wheelhouse of other players, of getting in their heads and owning free real estate and whatever. That's fine. That's great. Just – I'm at a point with Joel Embiid, as I am with this entire Sixers team, really. I mean, except Tyrese Maxey. I just love him. I'm at a point where it's just like all the extracurriculars, all the fun stuff, all the funny stuff. Like, I'm not finding the Sixers funny this year. Like, of all the things, I'm going to enjoy the season. I still think they can win 56 games. Like I said yesterday, last night was not off to a great start. They got the Bucks tomorrow night at home for their home opener, 7:30 tip-off. That's all wonderful. It's great. It's beautiful. It's awesome. I'm not going to be looking at the Sixers for entertainment this year. I'm going to look for the Sixers to handle their business. Because this is all a long tease this season as far as I'm concerned. And this is hoping that everyone's healthy by the playoffs. That's all that I really care about is you have a healthy roster going into the playoffs. You're a top 3 team because you sure as hell should be a top 3 team. But when it comes to everything else, I don't care. I don't care about the extracurriculars. I don't care about something funny Joel Embiid posted. I don't care that he said something funny in a press conference. Like, I don't know if there's been a team, maybe Andy Reid going to his 4th conference championship game. It was like, call me when we're in the playoffs. Call me when we're in the Super Bowl. Call me when you're finally past the NFC championship game. Like, that's the point. The point I was at in the early 90s with the Eagles is the point I'm at now in the early 2020s with the Philadelphia 76ers. That's where I'm at. No nonsense. Get to the end. Get to the second round of the playoffs. Win that, and I'll believe you're for real. The roster's great, and I think they will be at that point. I don't think they're making any kind of early exit. I don't think Joel Embiid's going to choke this year. I don't think James Harden's going to be a team cancer. I don't think Maxey and PJ Tucker are going to be arguing like they did on the court last night for a moment. Like, I think this is going to be a great team. I think they have every chance in the world still, even after losing last night. It's game 1 of the season on the road against a really good opponent. I'm not looking at the Sixers like there's some big joke, but they do need to prove how good they really can be to this fan base. And it goes beyond James Harden's years here. It goes beyond Tyrese Maxey being here. It has everything to do with they have gotten bounced out of the second round of the playoffs every single year they've made the playoffs since 2001. They have never made it past that. So they invested the process in it, and they said, hey, these next 3 years of your basketball fandom don't even matter if we're losing. And I was like, okay, I'm on board for that. All right, let's see what we can get going here. And then even after that, still not past that second round of the playoffs. Last night was not their best performance. We can all agree with that. James Harden was incredible, I will say. 5 for 9 from beyond the arc. 9 of 14 shooting for those 35 points. So not too shabby right there. I like every second of that. That was nice. But it's, for me, so much more along the lines of this season, 82 games. I'm going to be watching. Certainly going to be paying attention. But I have a feeling like I had with the early 2000s with the Eagles. Call me when they're in the playoffs. Call me when you're out of the second round. This is the year to get past that point. Last night was not a good start. Never good to start with a loss. You announce your presence with authority against the team that won your conference last year, sends a little bit of a different message. That wasn't the case last night, unfortunately. It was good to see the Sixers. They came out, they trailed early in the game, 7:30. They trailed early in the game by like 8 points, and then they went on a run of their own. Next thing you know, they were up 7 points, I believe, in that same quarter. So they kept on fighting. Harden hit a big three towards the end of the third quarter. Nice step back three with about 30 seconds left. They go into halftime. Come out. It was 63-63 of the early goings, and then the fourth quarter, it was Maxey hit a big three for you. They responded immediately. Brown is the one that knocked down the three late in the fourth quarter, kind of established the fact that this is going to be Boston's game. Just when he thought the Sixers were going to make it a run, and unfortunately, that's not how it went down. That's not what happened. So, like I said, Sixers back at it tomorrow night, 7:30 start time against the Milwaukee Bucks. Jason Tatum, by the way, Jaylen Brown also 35 points in the game apiece. So, good times. And, it's always nice to see Al Horford, right? It's always nice to drop in and see Al Horford. Good times. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia. For all your big jewelry purchases, trust my man, Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every day online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Here's what you get at Steven Singer Jewelers. You get that perfect price. Other jewelers like to mark things way up just to mark it down a couple of bucks, just to make it feel like you won something. Not at Steven Singer. At Steven Singer Jewelers, you know what they do? They give you the perfect price, and everybody the perfect price. So they don't mark up the inventory and make you feel like you have to haggle or negotiate or anything like that. No. When it comes to Steven Singer Jewelers, you're going to get taken care of with that perfect price. Oh, did the person next to me get a better deal than I did? No, they got the same deal. You know why? Because everyone's getting that perfect price. That's why it's called the perfect price. And not the somewhat perfect price. Or it's a good price. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. How about the amazing people at Manscaped? Manscaped.com. Enter promo code Farzy when you go to Manscaped.com for 20% off your order, including their incredible, most amazing hygiene bundle yet. Their Platinum Package 4.0. It is incredible. It includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It includes the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and it all comes with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So log on to manscaped.com and make sure you order with 20% off when you use promo code Farzy. And speaking of promo code Farzy, go to Freestone Farm CBD, freestonefarmcbd.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off your order. If you like CBD, if you want to try a different CBD, if you just want to try CBD, freestonefarmcbd.com. You'll enjoy their strain menu is off the charts. Like their insane tasting, tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into the chart topping 24.1%. And Super CBD, which is half Hindu. Another sip from my Red October cup. Kush. And 21%. So next, these guys are off the charts. So that was a bit much for the Kush. All right, we can agree. Whatever. Go to Freestone Farm CBD, freestonefarmcbd.com. How about Mojo? The Mojo app is a lot of fun. You have players that are stocks. You have share prices attached to every player. 300 skilled players in the NFL. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks. All logged on the Mojo app, where you can treat players like stock prices. Jalen Hurts stock continues to rise. He's about $49.85 a share, up 43% from the start of the season. Buy low, sell high. That's how you have to be thinking. A.J. Brown, absolutely incredible. $18 a share. That makes him the 16th most expensive wide receiver. That's pretty good. I think he's only going to go up, to be honest with you. I mean, you got to think about this. I know these guys have known each other for a long time. I know they practiced together in the offseason. They were all giddy when they became teammates. But I got to think as the season goes on, oh, baby, they're only going to get more familiar with themselves in game situations. Also, Miles Sanders, stock down. But I'd rather buy his stock low than high, of course. Because I think he's only going to get better as the season goes on as well. I'd buy now when it comes to Miles Sanders. Could be the best buy low candidate, by the way, in the app right now with his price down almost 18%. Another good game. That's right back up. You sell that high, make yourself some money. Go to the Mojo app right now. Download it to your phone. Available in New Jersey on iOS. Also go to mojo.com for more information. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let me get to the chat. Check and see how all you wonderful people are doing after last night's Phillies victory. And unfortunately, the defeat of the 76ers. And the Flyers, I'll say it again, 3-2 victory last night over that Tampa Bay Lightning team. I hate the fact that I have to hate the Tampa Bay Lightning. I shouldn't have to hate the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I hate the Tampa Bay Lightning. But that's just how I feel. That's how I feel about that. Let's start it up here. Marquise! Let's go, Phillies. Wait, let me see here. Is that the top of the chat? Live chat? Yeah, live chat. Come on. What's going on here? Marquise, what's going on? Let's go, Phillies. Got the road steal they needed, and Kyle finally came out of the slump he's been in the first 2 rounds. You know, it's funny, though. You hit, what do you hit? 46 home runs this season? You hit 46 bombs like that, and you get intentionally walked in the postseason, and then Rhys Hoskins comes up. It's like, yeah, you better deal with that guy. Otherwise, you got to deal with me. And then he got base hit last night. He got a walk last night, and then he hit the bomb in the 6th inning of last night's ballgame. But no, definitely good to see him get it going. And I'll think about that until 4:35 today. And maybe I'll think about it for the rest of my life. What does it feel like to hit a 488-foot home run? Doesn't feel like anything. So matter of fact. It was great. Oh, you know what I didn't get to? Let me get to this real quick. Kyle Schwarber. Hey, Kyle, you hit a bomb of a home run. How do you feel?
I don't really care. You know, as long as we win. I really don't care. I just want to win at the end of the day.
How do you not admire that? I don't care. Really? It was a man with class. I don't care. You got the wrong guy. So, Marquise, thank you. Mally. What's going on, Mally? Wheeler was dealing. He absolutely was. Well, I guess no 82-0 this season. Mally, no, that's what the fly. Well, you will maybe. The Flyers still have a chance at 82-0. Sixers don't. Oh, really? We got the play. Is this gratuitous? This is a gratuitous neckline? This shirt is more crisp than my others. I think it's an appropriate. I think it's a family appropriate neckline. Some other necklines that I've donned on the show, you know what they are? They're not meet the family necklines. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to meet the parents wearing that neckline, looking like a hussy. Anyway, Marquise, yep. Good to see Schwarber. I don't know why I can't say that. About the Sixers game, at least the old James Harden finally showed up last night. Hey, man, I didn't believe it when I heard it, but Bobby Marks, a former GM of the Nets, who now is on ESPN, when he talked about James Harden being in the conversation at the end of the year for MVP, I was like, okay, I don't believe it, but damn, all right, you know the league pretty damn well. I'm gonna go and hope you're right. Ray Fitzgerald, what's up, Ray? Bohm aimed the throw instead of just throwing. Ray, you know, if you're talking to kids, that's the simplest way to put it. And I'm not talking about Bohm being a young player in baseball. I'm just talking about kids in general. I can remember my dad saying, "You're aiming, you're not shooting," or "You're aiming, you're not throwing." In basketball, you're aiming, you're not shooting. In baseball, you're aiming, you're not just throwing. In the Sandlot, what did Benny the Jet Rodriguez tell Smalls? No, I'm not. You're killing me, Smalls. That was Ham Porter. That's what that was. For the people on the podcast, I just picked up my Ham Porter bobblehead and showed it to the camera. What did he say? He said you just gotta have fun. If Bohm was just having fun, he would have made that throw. No matter what umpire was in his periphery. Mally, Bohm threw that ball like Wentz. Chuck, Wheeler was so good. He was incredible. What did he lose the no-hitter? Was it the 5th inning? 6th inning? Yeah, Myers hit a 5th inning. Myers hit a single. Will Myers, longest tenured Padre. I forget he exists until I watch the Padres. But anyway, man, when he hit that baseball, and I went, no! I of course, wanted to see. I remember, we all remember, for those that were around for it, the Roy Halladay perfect game. A no-hitter in the playoffs. Insane, absolutely insane. And a second no-no of that season at the perfect game earlier in the year, obviously. Like, hey, welcome to Philadelphia, Roy Halladay. And he's like, good to be here. Here's 2 no-hitters, 1 perfect game and a no-hitter. But, man, Wheeler had that vibe last night, man. It is masterful. We got the best of baseball last night. We really did. The perfect way, I think, to describe this is that we got the best of baseball. It wasn't a complete game. It wasn't a perfect game. It wasn't a no-hitter. But we got a dominant pitching performance from a starting pitcher for at least 7 innings. We saw a pitcher deal for 7 innings the way Zack Wheeler dealt last night. 8 strikeouts, 83 pitches, 1 hit, 1 walk. He was dominant in the playoffs last night. Then we saw Kyle Schwarber step to the plate and blast a home run into the upper deck 488 feet. That's the best. If you're going to a ballpark, you want to see a dominant pitching performance and you want to see a mammoth home run. You got both last night. And if you're flying over to San Diego, which is beautiful, it's like my favorite city in the country, not named Philadelphia. But if you're going out there, it's a beautiful ballpark, it's a beautiful city, it's an incredible time, it's beautiful, all that stuff. But man, if you're going out there, if you're going to any ball game, you want to see a dominant pitching performance and a mammoth blast of a home run, you got both last night. And your team won, if you're the Phillies. That's something that I'll just be rattling around in my brain for quite some time. Boop, bomb through that ball like he was Wentz. Mally, you're right. Mihai, what's up, Mihai? Ray Fitzgerald, no excuses this year for the Sixers. Now you'll see how good Doc Rivers is or isn't. It's one of those things. Nothing really pisses me off more so than when a bit idea jumps into my brain after the fact. And after the show yesterday, I'm doing some stuff and I'm thinking about the Sixers starting. I had already thought about the Phillies playoff already, and I moved on to the Sixers in my brain. And I'm thinking about the Sixers, and I was like, "Damn it!" I was like thinking about all these things. What would be the too soon things to say for the season? Like, let me get them out of the way now. And the things that were popping in my brain were, of course, like fire Doc Rivers. Like that was the first one. The next one is Joel Embiid got snubbed for the MVP. After that, it was Doc Rivers doesn't know the rotations of his bench. This is ridiculous. So things like that we're going to talk about later in the year that I just wanted to, like, preemptive strike type of thing. That's what I want to do. Let me just get all these things out in the open now. And that way at the end, like when they actually come up for real, I can be like, first. I always laugh at the people on social media that comment first. And it's like the third comment. I'm like, nah, you thought so. Anyway. What do we got? Falconator 51. Not gonna lie, I checked out the Sixers game around the third quarter. Flyers and Phillies were just too much fun not to watch, and yeah, the winning felt good too. I don't blame you. Sean Gillespie, Duck Rivers, Miss Guzzi. Sammy Chan. That Ryan Howard triple decker was majestic. Phillies team destiny. You know what? I gotta tell this story real quick. It's the weirdest thing, but I got to tell it. That Ryan Howard home run, I watched. This is going to make me sound so old to anyone in the chat under the age of, I'll say 30. I watched Ryan Howard's home run from a internet cafe in Peru. I was staying in Cusco, which is a city that you stay in when you go see Machu Picchu. If you don't know Machu Picchu, you look it up. It's incredible. The Inca civilization in the Andes, high in the Andes, whatever. I got crazy altitude sick. I had to chew the coca leaves. It was insane. Anyway, it didn't do anything. People told me it was going to make me feel better. They sell it at a cafe. It's not what you're thinking. It's what they use to make what you're thinking, but it's not what you're thinking. And I chewed that and nothing. But anyway, I remember I was like, I got to keep up with the Phillies. So I went into this internet cafe. And it was like a thing where you leave your credit card in the machine. You could go on for, it's like you're on for 5 minutes. That'll be $40. What? Anyway. And I remember watching it and thinking that the computer wasn't working. Like the computer, like the screen jumped. Like nobody hits it into the upper deck. And Ryan Howard's home run that landed in that first line, I watched it 4 or 5 times, and then I realized it wasn't the computer. He actually hit it that far. That's just a stupid thing that I remember from that. But I remember watching it at an internet cafe in Cusco, Peru. Phillies team of destiny, Sammy. I'm with you. Kevin, what's going on, Kevin? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday already? Holy pots and pans, Batman. Beautiful morning, Sammy. It is indeed. Sean, hello. April! What's up, April? Phillies need to get some small ball going in game 2. Hate relying on the home runs. 4 runs on the homers for runs. You're absolutely right, April. I would love to see some small ball. The Phillies have certainly given us some of that. No better example than game 1 against the Braves. And I think they got that in them again. Sammy, the one hitter was reminiscent of Doc's gem versus the Reds. Absolutely it was. Darvish was dealing as well. Thankful for the 2 bombs. Hey, home runs are supposed to be mistakes, and last night they certainly seemed like mistakes. I'll also say this. Kyle Schwarber was like hunting baseballs yesterday. In his second to last at bat, I want to say. Is that where he got the... No, maybe it was the strikeout. Checks notes. Yeah, 8th inning. His last at bat. He was trying to do it again. He ended up striking out, but whoa, he took some hacks. He took like Mafia Don, you owe me money hacks with that baseball bat. Yeah, he was hunting for another one last night, no doubt about it. Sammy, San Diego fans are shell-shocked. They are cooked like the old chicken mascot. Wow. April, an internet cafe. Ha, 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 ha. April. I told you I was going to totally date myself when I said that. You see, kids, when you would travel internationally, you didn't have plans like you do today on your cell phone. God, that was 06. Yee! Oh, man, that was so long ago. Yeah. So you didn't have the good plans like most phones have today. So you had to check into these internet cafes. It was a whole thing. You'd sit there with a coffee and either your crappy brick of a laptop or a full-blown desktop computer that looked like a computer you played Oregon Trail on in the 5th grade. For the people that are under the age of 25, Oregon Trail was like the first video game you played on a desktop computer. And how it ended every time was you either tried to forge the river and you drown or you died of dysentery. The best thing about it, though, is you could hunt for food. That's what you could do. Look it up. Just YouTube Oregon Trail game. All right. I don't know why I did the people on the podcast thing for the younger audience, but there you go. Anyway. April. Oh, my God. I haven't even thought about that. Make sure you make your phone calls after 9 o'clock. They were cheaper. The best hack of our generation, though, April, the best hack of our generation, it was the 1-800-COLLECT or the, what was it, 1-800-ATT, whatever it was, where you'd be done basketball practice, and when you make the collect call, you would have to say, you are receiving a collect call from Mark Farzetta. And instead of saying your name, you would just say, Mom, pick me up. And then you'd play that. They would not accept the charges, hang up, and know to come get you. Brilliant. Shout out to my friend John Ficaris, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, who told me that trick years ago. Sammy, check your Juno. Check your Juno mail. Oh, my goodness. Dial 1010-220. Dusty, bringing it back. April, the classic call message was the best. It absolutely was. Sammy, damn, we're old. I can concur. Dusty, what's up, Farzy? We're talking about the Fightins. Let's go. Do I need to? I'll do it again. I love Red October. Red October. I love Red October. Deep into my belly. Boom, boom. April, we're not old. We're seasoned. Okay. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Those watching from an internet cafe in Peru, thank you. Pots and pans. Oh, April needs one of these cups. Let's see if I can wrangle one up for you. I don't think you want that one, though. I don't think you want that one. Sammy Khan experienced. Sean Gillespie. I have extra seasoning. Oh, yeah, man. I got Old Bay. That's what I got. Anyway, thanks for everybody in the chat. You guys are great. Let's get to the morning rush. Brought to you by Sky Motorcars. SkyMotorcars.com. Phillies, Padres, 435. Blake Snell, Aaron Nola. I set the scene for you earlier. Flyers stay in Florida. They'll be just outside Miami. A little team called the Florida Panthers. They'll be taking on today. 7:30 puck drop tonight versus the Panthers. So hopefully keep the big good vibes going. You got the Sixers back tomorrow night for their home opener, 7:30 tip off against the Milwaukee Bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a phenomenal position right now in Philadelphia. Sixers are going to pick it up. I'm fully confident they're going to be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Not worried. But hopefully they give us a fine start to the home season, at least. The first of 41 that they'll play at home. Hopefully they give us a better performance as far as that goes. One more thing I want to throw in here with the morning rush. It's already getting ugly. If it's not already ugly itself. If you know the gif with the guy grabbing the box of popcorn, putting it on his lap, and just sitting back and watching because he wants to see something, something very interesting take place here. And that happens often if people see a couple people on social media feuding, right? Sit back and watch, grab your popcorn. I am that guy in the gif when I think about the NFL owners versus Dan Snyder. Oh my God, I can't wait to see how this falls. Oh, this is going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And look, I know we poke fun at Carson Wentz. He's out, 4 to 6 weeks with a broken finger? I think it was only a matter of time before he wasn't the starting quarterback anyway, but I digress. But when it comes to the Washington Commanders and Jim Irsay saying that Dan Snyder should probably not be an owner anymore, basically, and when Roger Goodell was asked about Jim Irsay's comments, and Jim Irsay ain't no choir boy, as we all know, but Roger Goodell was asked if he was surprised by Jim Irsay's comments, and he just said no. And then the Washington Commanders owner, Daniel Snyder, comes out, and he's just like, basically, I got the dirt on you if you think you got dirt on me. Oh, man. This is going to be, you know how we talk about in lockouts and strikes, the billionaires versus the millionaires? Oh, this is going to be billionaires versus a billionaire. Oh, my God. This is amazing. I can't wait to watch. I'm going to, get your popcorn ready. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Farzy Show presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Jim Hyder produced program, did a wonderful job. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Phillies go for a 2-0 series lead on the Padres this afternoon at 4:35. I'll be right there watching. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day, as a matter of fact. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.